Hello, and welcome back to the first edition of What is Going On Around America Right Now? You don't know? Well, we do. This is the June 9th version in 1910. The slums get slummier, and these big cities are doing nothing about it. The slums of big cities such as New York City, Cleveland, Chicago, and Philadelphia have some of the worst living conditions known to the U.S., and these big cities are doing nothing about it. These big cities and their government are not doing anything for the lower class citizens, from anything from garbage collection to safe housing to police and fire protection, which are the most essential, and nothing is happening. A History Alive member said families were jammed into slum tenements. Infrastructure such as roads, power, sanitation, and transportation were all inadequate. Tenement owners in big cities will shove up to 3 families in a room. These tenements have terrible conditions and are way overcrowded. Another History Alive member says these tenements were 1 or 2 dark closets used as bedrooms, with a living room of 12 feet by 10 feet. Some types of immigrants could have been denied due to their ethnicity, and since paying wages are less than the cost of living, some families could not be able to afford housing at all. Our next story, unfair immigration, it's happening, and it's really bad. The first immigrants, or the old immigrants, were the first to move to the U.S. They were from the northern and western parts of Europe, while the new immigrants were from the southern and eastern parts of Europe. There is a ton of push and pull factors for immigrants to move to the U.S. For the push factors, there is population growth, hunger, unavailability of land, religious persecution, and pull factors to the U.S. like steady jobs, increased pay, free democratic society, ample farmland, and a good mining industry. With all these factors brings lots of immigrants, and these immigrants are coming, but does everyone want them? No, people do not. The U.S. government has passed laws to restrict Chinese immigration to the U.S. Even old immigrants of Europe don't want any new immigrants from Europe. Ellis Island is a problem too. Richer passengers could just go through without any inspection, while lower class has to go through a long, rigorous process just to make it into America, says Time magazine. Some people could be denied entry just because of an uncontrolled medical condition, also says Time. And our final story for tonight. Working conditions are now a life and death situation. The jobs and working conditions are a living nightmare, and now may be a life and death situation. Not only are the working conditions for workers unsafe and unstable, but so is even holding a job. Excuse me. A History Alive member says life in a factory is perhaps, with the exception of a prison life, the most monotonous life a human being can live. This is a real quote talking about how bad job conditions really are in the U.S., and it's completely true. Some of these bad conditions are as follows: sharp blades threatened meat packers, cotton dust plagued textile workers, and fire posts arrested nearly everyone in the factory's close quarters. If you get injured on the job, sorry, but you're fired. You heard that right. You get hurt and you don't work. Even if you are working, salaries are sometimes not even enough to pay for a decent life and to provide for your family. When you're working, you have to make unsafe products for all the people. So, caveat emptor. Since you can't pay for a living wage, your kids will have to work too, and even unsafer working conditions instead of learning like most kids should. And that will wrap up what is going on around America right now. You don't know? Well, we do. June 9th, 1910, first edition. Thank you.